Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about having a Cancer Mercury in a natal chart. And first thing up is some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the Mercury signs, and those first videos may have been a little bit concise, and some people may have referred to them as snappy. So I decided to make another series on them, in which they would be a little bit longer and more descriptive than the previous ones. So anyway, first thing up, well, having your Mercury in Cancer, communications, may be emotional. You may speak in an emotional manner at times. You may often talk about things like nostalgic and history. You may have a good ability to extemporize in speech, speak off the cuff, be very spontaneous in your communications. Um, Another thing is you could also be very sensitive in in this matter too, as far as your communications go. So it's important, not to, you know, misconstrue something, or somebody saying something, make a generic or general statement, and get your feelings hurt. I have my Mercury in Cancer, so I have to be wary of this. And there may also at times be a defensive quality to your speech. It's hard just to be careful. Mercury and Cancer people, as far as being overly defensive, especially when it's not necessary. And the communication side, for Mercury and Cancer people, it can also be introverted communications. Even if you have you may have a very strong extroverted chart, such as having a preponderance of planets on the top half of the chart. Maybe you have a lot of major astrological influences in masculine signs, but there still may be, times when you prefer to talk in introverted manner, talking in home. What I'm saying, people, your home, talking frequently with your home, your family members in your house. So and also people you just feel comfortable with. You may feel, you may stay with your communications that you're comfortable with, and may not always, want to go outside the box, so to speak, and who you're speaking with. Now, another thing is Mercury in astrology is connected with thinking and assimilating information. So, a lot of this with the Mercury in Cancer can be intuitive. Your decisions may often be made, on really hunches that are on intuitive. You get a feel for certain things often, where you feel, what's comfortable, what feels safer, what is that right decision like, what does your gut tell you? And also, you may be somewhat methodical, in your learning process, but your mind may be very retentive and be able to retain a lot of information. You may often remember like the mood and the inflection in which things are said. As well, you may be very contemplative and not always be in a hurry to respond to others. It could be that you're just, maybe thinking about the right way to respond, taking care, caring about what you say, so it may not come across, as overly abrasive or offensive or what have you. And you may often be, Mercury and Cancer people may often reminisce about the past, the good and the bad. And you got to be careful about lamenting and brooding over past hurts too much. And I will often do that, again, having my natal Mercury in the zodiac sign Cancer, and I need to be careful because when you start thinking about those things, and you may start thinking negatively about virtually everything you're doing, and it can affect your actions and your behavior toward others in general. Now, and also the thinking may be very creative as well. Now, Mercury in astrology is also associated with siblings, cousins, and neighbors. So those people may actually be Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant persons, or they may simply embody Cancerian characteristics. They could be people that could be moody, fickle, temperamental, um, caring, sensitive, sympathetic, people that are protective and emotional. And the thing is, and it could be people that are in, Cancerian type field or profession, whether it's so somebody working as a historian or plumbing or laundry business, doing something, home renovation, remodeling, real estate, as some examples. Now, Mercury in astrology is also connected with the early education. So, having Mercury in Cancer, early education, a person may have been very dedicated and devoted to their studies and very tenacious with trying to, do the best they can in whatever it is they were doing, whether it was a book report or some science project, whatever it might have been. Um, this is also, but at the same time, the person may have, made decisions at times, in terms of how hard he or she would study, so on and so forth, based on the mood. Because remember, the zodiac sign Cancer can be temperamental, and the early education, may have been, often about, well, do I feel like doing this? Do I feel like even go? Do I feel like, putting my whole effort into whatever it is I'm doing? And that's something that, people, Mercury and Cancer need to be careful on. If anybody has seen this video that's still, in that time of their life and they haven't yet, reached their final, they haven't yet graduated high school, just to be wary of this. But the person, Mercury and Cancer, in their early education may have taken courses, if they had them like in cooking or, something with restaurant work or real estate, home renovation or remodeling as some examples. Mercury in astrology is also associated with short journeys. So the short journeys, for people, Mercury in Cancer, may have been ones where they felt comfortable with, nostalgic, family-oriented. Um, there may have been, much dedication and devotion to these short journeys, and a lot of it, though, could again be dependent on the mood that the person is in, whether he or she feels or felt like taking the short journeys. It could be to historical places. Remember, the zodiac sign Cancer is associated with history. Maybe it was often going to places like plumbing businesses or laundry. Um, you know, Businesses as well, more so than most people. A lot of people go to the laundromat, whether they're, regardless of their astrological placements. But the Mercury in Cancer may have felt more inclined to do that than most others on average. And another thing is that Mercury is associated with the rational mind, rational thinking. So having Mercury in Cancer, the rational mind may often be affected, by the emotions, and ridicule and criticism by others. And, this could, affect, how the person may think rationally, because, Cancer placements can be very sensitive naturally. Someone's abrasiveness might affect, the rational thinking strongly. And but the thing is, it could also be, they have to really, Mercury in Cancer again, can be very sensitive. And the thing is, they don't often. Another thing I would just want to incorporate is they generally, even though Cancer is not a fixed sign, it's a cardinal sign, of course, but they don't like to deviate often from what they do. They may be averse to change, because Cancer likes to be at home with things and doing things that they're simply comfortable with. Mercury also is connected with analysis. So the Mercury in Cancer person may often be analyzing their home life, their home situation in general, and also the latter part of life. Even if they're not in it, they may often want to project or extrapolate where they want to be in that latter part of life. Are they, what are they doing at this point in time that's getting them to what they really want at that latter part of life, say roughly age 50 and later. It could be in analyzing home appliances. It could be family members, and just and also, nostalgic items, as well, antique or nostalgic items. Now also too, Mercury is connected with the hands and manual dexterity. So the person with Cancer Mercury may, if they use their, using their hands for something, it might be doing something with home renovation or remodeling. It could be working in plumbing or in some kind of laundry business, or anything that could be, you could be fixing nostalgic antique items, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.